Hello everybody, it is Nile Hesson here, back with another pitching breakdown. This pitching breakdown will be covering July 20th, 2022. I was thinking of 7 for 7th of the month, or 7th month rather, in my head. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to do a breakdown of my last start, which is why you guys haven't seen a breakdown in a little bit of time. I was in the process, I made the video and audio recording, but I forgot to screen record the breakdown itself, so it really was just a 20-minute audio clip of me breaking stuff down that you guys could not see on the screen. And since I was busy during the week, I wasn't able to break it down until literally the day of my next start, which was this start that I'm going to be doing today. And with all that being said, I was just like, you know what, I'm going to scrap it and do it at a different time. However, if you guys want to see the written breakdown of that, I will probably link this as well. I'll list the two, the two breakdowns, because I have a written breakdown and then a video breakdown. So I have a written video breakdown for the start on July 20th, and then the start on July 14th, I believe it was. I'll try to leave my written breakdown there as well. I will not forget to do this breakdown though, because this was a very good start by me, a tremendous start rather. This was summer game number 5, so let's go ahead and break it down. Before I give you guys any more breakdown, I want to go over some of the numbers I had. I threw a 7-inning complete game. I had 108 pitches. I gave up 1 hit. I struck out 10 and walked 1, so definitely was a very good game for me. Let's start off by saying this arguably could be up there for one of the best games of my life, and I'm not exaggerating either. In total, I threw a 7-inning complete game shutout with only 1 hit allowed. I was dominant from the get-go, which is something that I've been prone to be struggling with. All my pitches were working to the fullest, and everything execution-wise for the most part was good as well. The team we faced was one of the better teams in the league as well, which I'm not trying to boast, but use rather for self-confidence and overall execution. The biggest note I wanted to point out before I break it down was the fact that we needed to win, and as a team, we did enough to do so by winning 1-0. Let's break this sucker down. Another positive note, I didn't put any negatives on here because I'm very critical of myself when it comes to breakdowns and writing them down and all that stuff. Normally, I always find negatives, but this time I decided to not even look at the negatives because I threw a 1-hit shutout, complete game in 7 innings. I've obviously did something right. And yeah, we can really nitpick if I want to and look at some things here, but I decided to go with the all-positive route, which you probably will never see again, so enjoy it while it lasts. But let's go over the positives for today's start. My confidence. Something I have struggled with throughout my career was confidence in throwing pitches I wanted to. A better example of that would be conviction. Getting a pitch signaled and throwing it in there almost like a FU, see if you can hit it. In other words, it's kind of like challenging a hitter. I learned that from John Madden and Trevor Bauer's conviction. If you get a pitch, for example, a fastball inside, have the mentality that you're going to throw the fastball inside. Don't be like, I might hit the batter or anything like that. If you have conviction, which is something I've been trying to do, it kind of correlates with confidence, and so that's why I was having success with that. That's more of borderline a better story for that. Having that ability really helps in all parts of baseball, as mental strength is almost as important, if not more important, than physical skill or talent. Visualization. I usually strive to be a better visualizer. I tried slower breathing and meditation, haven't really found success with that though, so instead I sit on the bench in between innings, catch my breath, and then visualize the pitches in the next inning that I want to throw. I really had focused on that today and obviously had success. I think in a way too, it helps me establish a feeling of confidence and an idea of how the next inning will go. With visualization, I've done a lot of, I guess you could say techniques, trying to be a good visualizer. Think of the pitch coming up, or in between innings, sit on the bench. I'm the type of guy that's going to talk with other teammates and encourage my hitters. And obviously you want to do that, but you got to be a polite manner about it. You got to focus on yourself first, because ultimately you have a job to do, and that was something that I found really valuable. I never really took time to sit down, catch my breath, drink my water, arm sleeve on, and then I just thought of some pitches. My fastball, I thought where I was going to put the fastball, the cutter, the changeup, the slider. Everything I was just quickly visualizing where I wanted to see those pitches go. And, I had that flow going. I was in control, which is something that's very important, and I think something that a lot of people not necessarily struggle with, but don't want to necessarily admit that they do. So that was a huge thing there. Obviously, that's a great takeaway, and I'm going to highlight that and put that for my next start. Mixing pitches. I had 10 strikeouts today and only 1 walk through 7 innings. The ability to mix my pitches and continue to keep hitters off balance was huge. I also like that I felt confident with every pitch, the changeup, yes, and no lull. I put that in parentheses. I knew that if I threw any pitch in any count, I'd have lots of success. This is also a huge point for me, was mixing my pitches. I was hitting pretty much every spot. I missed a spot here or there. That's going to happen in baseball, which is huge. And on top of that, I was mixing pitches. It didn't matter if it was a 1-1 count, a 3-2 count. If I was going to throw a changeup, normally I'd be scared to throw it on 3-2, but I was very confident with it, and I was actually throwing it very effectively, which is why I was having tons of success. That's huge. If your ability to do that is amazing, you're going to have tons of success. So I was very pleased by that. On top of mixing pitches, mixing locations was also effective. I did a very good job of mixing all types of locations as well. Inside, in particular, was effective, which then led to the outside pitch to be good as well, and vice versa. I was also working vertically very well. The high pitch was good to show the hitter the ability to go up, which in turn helped set up the lower half. Overall, I contribute my success from yesterday to the ability to hit spots and set other pitches up. If you establish the inside pitch, that helps you establish the outside pitch, because the hitter's got to react in. That might take an inch or two away off the bat, or even seeing it through the eyes, which really can help paint that corner, or help you get that swing and a miss. The same thing can be applied, outside pitch to inside pitch, as well as higher level compared to lower level. If I throw a high fastball, let's say early in the count, or even with 2 strikes, the hitter's got to know that I'm going to throw up there, or at least have the ability to throw up there. So his eyes are going to be slightly up compared to down. That helps me bury a nice changeup or a nice fastball, which I did actually do. I threw a high fastball on 2 strikes, and he fouled it off, and then I threw him a low fastball the next pitch, and I struck him out looking, because he's got to adjust. And if you're able to mix locations and show the ability to throw up or down in the count, early in the count, late in the count, it's really going to have success, and that's one of the reasons, again, why I had success. Fastball velocity. Although, again, not very prevalent, strikes are more important. The velo was still ticked up to around the 82 to 85 range. I feel when I wanted to put more behind it too, I was able to, and vice versa. This is huge because the extra miles per hour, even difference between the two, can throw off hitters or they can miss it. This is something that I wanted to touch base on briefly. I think also what I've been doing, as you guys can tell with my breakdowns, you kind of are just looking at a screen that's not moving. I'm sorry about that. I'm kind of talking things through. I have a podcast, sports podcast, so basically getting my thoughts out there is just kind of a talking manner, and then we'll look at some of the footage. So, if you guys want to skip ahead to that, that's going to be good too. But also talking, some people are audio learners and like to learn that way. And as I mentioned with this YouTube channel, obviously I want to learn for myself, but also if people that are watching want to learn as well. Each kind of positive or negative, I can add little side notes on why I wrote that or what I mean by that. So with the fastball velo, and I say being able to tick it up, normally I'm consistently 83, 84. Consistently. If I throw 83 in an at-bat, I'm going to throw 83. If I throw 84 in the next at-bat, I'm typically going to throw 84. Charles Breyer, his father, I can't think of his name, really told me to move your fingers on the seam to take a mile an hour off, or add a mile an hour, or hold it a little less harder or more harder, just to get that mix of a mile an hour difference or 2. It really messes with the hitter's timing. I was doing that. Let's say I threw 83 earlier in the count, painted a fastball inside. I threw an 85 mile an hour fastball in the outside corner. That speeds the hitter's mind up, that he's got less of a chance to react. So being able to put some behind it and take some off it was what I was going by that there, and I really had good success with that. Durability, and I'm talking about my arm. For dealing through a back injury for the majority part of last year and not being able to prep my arm for incredible durability, such as throwing 100-day pitches, I was very proud to throw that amount and have 0 arm pain whatsoever. Obviously, I was sore, but so far, through some recovery and other factors such as flush running and recovery running, my arm still feels good and is prime position to start again on Monday. Durability is huge. I want to be a starter. If I were to play professional baseball, I'd love to be a starter compared to a reliever. Obviously, I'll be a reliever. I'm just saying theoretically. And in being a starter and going deep into ball games, you're going to have arm durability. Typically, the summer seasons and really the fall season, when I'm going back up to college, is really just building that arm strength and really kind of getting your body and your arm ready for next year, and also the season, the durability, whatever. I had to miss that. I missed the whole fall season because of a back injury, which was really frustrating. And so I kind of had to start from scratch. The players, spring and season was my kind of fall. starting to pick things up. The summer is really kind of starting to pick things up, and then I'll go back into the fall and really pick things up. So I'm progressively getting more durable, which is huge. And having no arm pain with that, doing recovery and doing everything right is really beneficial and is really shown to be effective. I put most part lower half. I'm always going to be critical about my lower half. Let's be frank and quick. My lower half is never going to be great at the moment. I put that little hyphen there, at the moment. There is still a lot of work to do, but I'm proud that I was at least better today, and I could feel more steady, controlled motion compared to none, or at least very sloppy. I talk about my lower half a lot, and I always have a big emphasis on it because I really don't do a good job. I don't know if it's my family genetics, I don't know if it's just my mentality, but lower half is everything. I would much rather have a stronger lower half than upper half. Now, obviously, if I was out with a shirt off at the beach, which I'm going to be in a couple of days, and there's beautiful girls looking at me, I obviously want to have a great upper body. Come on now. That'd be silly. But for a pitching standpoint, your legs are much more important because all your power comes from your legs. Yeah, you can have tremendous biceps, a tremendous popping chest. You could, pop your chest back and forth, whatever. Yeah, that's great. But also where you're going to get that drive and that power is from your lower half. I obviously lift legs and all that stuff, and I do different leg drills. But it's just more of anything. It's just, I guess, repetition and kind of trying new things. Marcus Stroman is the guy I really look at for a good leg drive. You don't really notice it, but Marcus Stroman's shorter in stature, but his tremendous ability to use his legs is the reason why he's a successful pitcher and throws really hard. Watch a Marcus Stroman highlight of him pitching and just see how he uses that lower half to just fling his body toward the plate and throw. So if I can get my lower half to be like Marcus Stroman, obviously I'll be pleased. But overall, the lower half wasn't terrible. Obviously, it wasn't great, but foot placement, foot drive, all that stuff was actually really good. So definitely something to keep my head up on that. And then the final positive I put is just having success. The bottom line was I had success, and that's something to be proud of no matter what situation you're in. I need to enjoy the moment for a brief night or even start off the day tomorrow feeling satisfied, but know that you can never be satisfied and there's still lots of room for improvement. I also want to note I need to continue to stick to the same routines and styles that got me here. And also a note, remember, there is always somebody better than you out there, no matter what. That's a very big note I always like to put down, because in reality, there is. Somebody in this world is a better baseball player than me. Sadly. I know, you probably don't think it's true, but it is. And that's the same for you. Unless you're Shohei Ohtani, and some people might beg the question, or whoever is the best player in baseball, there is always somebody better than you at your age group getting more success. So that's just kind of more of a motivational note to continue to keep working hard. Closing. Today was a very good day. I needed it badly. More than anything, I needed it for my confidence to know that I'm capable of great things. Like I mentioned, there aren't any negatives because honestly, I really couldn't have pitched any better. With that being said, there's still a big job to do. We have the quarterfinal game on Monday, and once again, I'm starting. I'm excited, and I know I'm going to do my best to stick to the same routines to give me the best position to win and succeed. Good night for now, and see you soon. So that was my written breakdown. I'll link my written breakdown for this one as well as my 714 one. But just know that if you read it and you're kind of lost, like my English, it's not great. I'm sorry. It's more for me, and I sometimes can't read my English. It's not horrible, but you'll kind of read something and be like, what are you talking about here? And that's fair enough. So that's a fair warning, just for future. I'm really trying to get better at it. It's not like it's horrendous, but there are some points where it's a little bit rough, so just do your best. That's also why I talk it through, because people probably try to read it and they have a brain aneurysm because they can't understand my English, which is totally acceptable. So yeah, let's take a look at some of the pitches here. This is just a 5-pitch mix. I didn't have my dad here. He was out on a work trip, and then I didn't even bother with my mom because she loves technology. So I had a coach, take just a couple of videos of my body and seeing where things go. So let's take a look here. I believe this is going to be a slider first pitch. Let's take a look. Watch it first through and break it down a little bit. Look at that backdoor slider right there. Beautiful pitch. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Sorry, again, it is vertical. I mean, I guess I could see if I could turn it anyway. Nope. Okay, it looks like we're stuck here. That's fine. Anyways, guys, let's take a look here. Overall, really good form. My leg gets up there. You see that right there. That's obvious. Drive. Let's go back here a little bit. Watch the drive. Back leg relatively good. I'm getting some drive, and then the front leg actually is really solid compared to, well, not really solid, but better. You can kind of see it a little bit across if you're able to see that. But obviously I want it a little more straight, but it's not where it's like right here. And then obviously arm. Let's take a look at my release point. About right here. Oops, I just missed it. Gotta go back, sorry. Right here. That's the release point. Very solid. I'd be curious if I really just kind of pull and put it more out front here. But at least it's not back here where I tend to throw high and outside. So very good pitch there. Let's take a look at this next. I believe it's also a slider or a cutter. So that's just a quick slide step. As a strike 3 looking, it's a quick slide step. You can tell there's like zero leg drive, at least like a big wind up and leg drive if you take a look. See how I just kind of break? I just break. And that's okay at times. It's more of a thing too, because you'll notice, or you might not notice actually, when I do my wind up. Sorry, I'm trying to fix my mic. There we go. I think we're good now. When I do my wind up at times, I'll flirt around with some different techniques and kind of like Johnny Cueto and mix kind of timing up and maybe hold my balance point for a little longer, a little faster. Slide step and stretch is a little bit of the same thing because I'm not able to do my wind up. I'll kind of mix with some timings here and there just to see what I can do. But overall, pretty good drive, at least good hinge right here, arm separation good. This is actually a pretty good angle of my front leg. You kind of see how it's more straighter. It was just a little more diagonal on the last one, which, again, the straighter the better. And then let's take a look if we can see my release point right here, or a little bit sooner, or later, I should say. But still, if this is my release point, or at least a little bit sooner, it's more on a horizontal compared to a vertical standpoint. So it's good enough. Again, I'd like to maybe stretch it out a little bit more, but that's being nitpicky. I think we go fastball here. Let's take a look at the fastball. Good. That was the kind of one I was talking about, where low fastball. The umpire was very good, but he was a little bit generous to the pitchers, which, hey, I'm never against. You can see a little bit lower location, but a good drive to start. Good balance point. Interesting on this one, my balance point, it kind of looks like my body's turned. I don't know if you can notice that because it's very hard to see. Let me see if I can do a quick. Okay, did a quick stop right here. I guess I should have just done that for the other ones. It kind of looks like my body's just turned slightly this way, and that's not a bad thing. Normally, I'm completely straight. I don't know if I'm just trying to keep an eye on the catcher or what. Honestly, good balance point. Just do a fast break here, see if I can find release point. Okay, well, I went too far on my release point, but overall, good mechanics in that one. I mentioned the leg was good too. Leg looks good. And balance point, or release point, right here. That's a release point. That's a really good release point. It's like I'm pushing the ball towards the mound instead of letting the ball travel higher. So very good release point there. Let's take a look at this next one again from the stretch. I believe this one's just a quick step and go. Yep, oops, I didn't mean to pause that. Good fastball right in the corner there. A little, not dance, but a little hop off the mound there. So this one's good too. I talked about the stretch and the not indecision. That's not the right word. With the stretch, I talk about the timing, kind of with the windup, not indecision. I don't know why I was thinking indecision compared to timing. So on the other pitch, I talked about how I just slide steps, literally slide steps. You'll see right here, slide step, boom. This one is still from the stretch, but I lift my leg up. Again, that's just messing with the timing of the guy at first and also the guy at the plate. If I do these timings effectively, the guy at first is not going to have any idea what to steal. It's kind of like one of those UCLA things when you're talking about timing and whether or not to throw over or pick off. It's like UCLA on steroids, except it's more of a timing and going to a plate. So that's where I talked about there. Overall, good release points a little bit. Okay, well, we're going to act like that's a release point, even though it's a little bit back here. Good front leg. The front leg's really straight, actually. That was probably one of the better straight legs I've had. And overall, it's just a good pitch. Let's take a look at the final pitch here again from the stretch. Another quick slide step and a good backdoor cutter. Beautiful backdoor cutter. Yeah, we're going to look at the stretch here. I would like to hold my pauses a little bit. I think I was going on like U or C relatively. There was a couple I went on A, but nobody stole on me. So obviously I was mixing my timings right apparently. And there wasn't many 2 people on base. Not to boast, but I got a good amount of stretch videos here because apparently the time that my coach went to go do that, there's a guy on base. So if you do the math, there was only 3 guys on base because I did hit a guy. A hit, a walk, and a hit by pitch. So, and then actually there was actually a couple more people on base because there was a couple errors too. Never mind. But still, let's take a look at this real quick. Good balance. Also, I like here too. It'll be kind of hard to see if I can. Boom. Okay, good. Nothing that I haven't really talked about. But first of all, body stays positioned straight, facing the dugout, and then also my scap. You can kind of see right here. It's kind of like I'm like doing Chris Sale. Not doing Chris Sale. That sounds right. That sounds really wrong. I meant like you can see like kind of my back here. I get my arm all the way back and it's used as like a scap, which is huge to get into the scaps. And I'm also kind of blocking off the ball here too. Be curious to see like kind of like when I release it is when I kind of let the ball come back in and able to see. But that's actually a really good position to be in, at least for where I want to be at. And so yeah. Well, anyways, guys, thank you guys for listening to this breakdown. If you at least listened to a little bit of it, this was a very good start. I was very excited to do this breakdown. I wanted to do it like immediately after my start. And then also yesterday, I'm recording this on Friday, July 22nd, at 11:15 p.m. Just because I was busy and hanging out with friends and whatnot. So I wasn't able to break it down, but it was still really fun to do. I hope you guys did enjoy another breakdown here. If you guys did, feel free to subscribe to the YouTube channel if you'd like a written breakdown of this one and also my last start. That should be in the description down below. If you're a college coach, I'm looking for a home after this season, so don't be afraid to hit my line. But until next time, it is Nile Hesson signing out. Take care, and good night, everybody.